2 decades before a human being would stand on the moon, the United States bounced a radar signal off of it and heard it come back. After World War II ended, the United States Army Signal Corps went to work pushing radar equipment further. Colonel John H. DeWitt Jr., the director of Evans Signal Laboratory at Camp Evans, New Jersey, had a question he needed answered, one that no one had previously thought to ask, let alone test. Could radio signals penetrate the ionosphere, the charged layer of atmosphere that reflects certain radio waves back to Earth? And if so, could a signal make the trip to space and back? At the time, it was widely considered an impossible task. First, to even test the theory, you would need an object to bounce the signal off of. This required something in space that was not only common, but also had the ability to reflect the signal strongly enough to return to Earth. The moon was the obvious answer. Asteroids move far too quickly to be practical. Even if a radar could be pointed at one, the test could only occur once and would never be replicable. Other celestial objects were much too far away to even be considered, so the moon was chosen. But that was still no guarantee the experiment would work. Many materials were already known to be radar absorbing, and no one knew whether the moon's surface would reflect radar at all. If it couldn't reflect the signal strongly enough for the receiver to pick it up, then the experiment could never work, even if the signal did penetrate the ionosphere. Then there was the problem of path loss. The moon had been calculated to be approximately 238,855 miles away from Earth. If the signal could penetrate the ionosphere, bounce off the moon, and return, the returning signal would be at least 1/632 quillionths of its original strength. And that's before accounting for the unknown reflection efficiency of the lunar surface, or any signal diffraction through the ionosphere. That number comes from math, the free space path loss formula, the same physics that governs every radio signal ever transmitted. At 11.5 megahertz over 238,500 miles, the one-way loss alone is 185 decibels. The round-trip loss, what a radar echo actually experiences, is double that. The signal that returned would be so faint that detecting it would be like hearing a whisper from across an ocean. So John DeWitt Jr. had a question, and a team that would need a lot of power, a very sensitive receiver, and a moon that cooperated. Would they succeed, or would the idea of communicating through space fail before it ever began? If you enjoyed this piece of radio history, subscribe to RF and Radio History, and tell me in the comments what signal story we should cover next.